Usually this T-shirt is
sodden.
Yeah, you got the worst end of the deal.
I
just take,
So, Matt,
I just take everything very, very low.
On brand. There you go. Welcome to Ollie.
That is amazing. So, as far as I can see, Ollie, that was the first thing that Ollie said. That is right. We're done. It's not going to top that.
It was an organic process, shall we say, where we all got together for a jam under the strict instructions that we were definitely not a band.
And from our nearest and dearest, that was the deal.
Yes, and then we accidentally found out that we quite enjoyed playing theme tunes, and it turned into a band. But technically, again, on another technicality, we got out of it by calling ourselves Not a Band.
That's right. And we're not here. We're not here.
So
this is not a band.
Yes. This is not a podcast. And we have plenty of Not a fans out there as well that love to support us.
Yes, the Not a fans are increasing, especially this year. So we're very grateful for that.
And the Not a gigs you're playing are coming in thick and fast, are they?
They are, yes. Yeah, there's about 15 this year. That's the public ones, and then we do get asked to do quite a few private parties as well, which is nice. So it's a nice mix of sort of festivals, headline shows, private parties.
We've got the Red River Festival coming up at the weekend.
On Saturday,
Yep, they're expecting 250,000 visitors over the weekend. So
so
almost guaranteed to rain for us. But playing Baywatch in the rain is become definitely a brand sort of.
Yeah, it's happened at quite a few festivals.
It's got to be the most British way of playing it, isn't it? The pouring rain.
Absolutely.
As we can see, Alex, there, you're right next to Pamela there. So.
Yeah.
And he's frozen, I think, is he? Oh, no, he's... honestly...
As I've always wanted to be.
You got your very own Pamela tonight. So, Donald, do you want to come in there?
Yeah, I think I'll start off just by maybe asking a couple of questions. How long have you been together? And obviously you came up with the name Not a Band. Did you have any idea where you was going from the beginning, or were you going to just thought, all right, we'll just do some cover songs from movies and televisions and just take it from there and just see how we go?
Well, we did start doing a mixture of things. Like we even did like a few funk tunes and stuff, but it was when somebody suggested, I can't remember which of the four of us it was, to do the A-Team. And then from there we realized, well, playing the A-Team and other theme tunes is way more fun than doing funk covers. And that was that. And then we drilled down onto it. Although at the beginning we were just instrumental, and it was only when somebody suggested we really should do the Only Fools and Horses thing, we're like, well, it's got vocals. So we gave it a go singing, and now we've had singing lessons, and now we're quite good at singing.
Well, to be fair, we I think we've all sung backing vocals in bands.
Yeah, but none of us had done.
It's not like we went from nowhere.
No, but me and Jay sort of, some songs Jay will sing lead, some I'll sing lead, and we'd never sung lead vocals in a band before. So
Matt discovered that he can absolutely belt out things like Baywatch and Gladiators, and I tend to sing the Home and Aways and Lidless Hobos,
yes,
which are a little bit less strenuous.
But I've decided to do the strenuous songs and play drums at the same time. So usually this T-shirt is
sodden.
Yeah, you got the worst end of the deal. I just take.
So Matt,
I just take everything very, very low.
On brand. There you go. Welcome, Ollie.
So, as far as I can see, Ollie, that was the first thing that Ollie said. That is right. So we're done. It's not going to top that.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the whole podcast is peaked. So I mean,
Well, actually, kind of
Oh,
sums
that
up.
was
You did ask
Oh,
how we, how did we sort of know where we were going? This is kind of it. It happens to us rather than us happening.
Yes, yes. Do not be
Some
mistaken.
things-
Do not be mistaken that
some
any of
things-
this happened as part of a plan. This
Yes.
is all. I am staggered that we are having any
Yeah.
level
The
of
plan.
success.
Sometimes
Yeah,
the
I
best
think
way of
this is-
describing things is just letting things happen. I know.
Yeah. But honestly,
No, but
it's
let's be frank.
this is just.
This is it. This is our life.
God.
Yeah, this is it.
Look, we've made
I'm
bad
done.
life choices, and now we have.
And now we've got to live with it.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Oh, well,
I'm sorry to drag you two into this.
No, it's all
Chicane
right.
me.
I think I'm just. I think, Donald, we can just put we interviewed Pinhead Doug Bradley a few weeks ago, but that's nothing now
Yeah.
compared to that. You've managed to top Pinhead himself.
Yeah, I think you have definitely. It's going to be rewatched. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I think
What actually happened there, Ollie? Did you just
um,
knock your camera, or did you teleport?
materialize in
First
front of
match to
us.
start. He leaned forward and knocked the cam forwards.
Oh, fantastic! Yes, that is so on brand.
Well
Ollie,
done.
do you want to say what you were going to say before your camera knocked over?
I can
Just what I was asking.
we were talking about backing. We were talking about
Oh,
backing,
backing
vocals,
vocals.
weren't we? I was saying,
Yeah.
I was saying, I've got a kind of niche of I only do the very looking kind of Ghostbusters. I'll have the I'm afraid of no ghosts, but I also do the highest notes. I do nothing in the middle. I'm
Wait.
very.
But it should be mentioned that Ollie plays the Jermaine character in Brighton the Concords, which are the UK's best and only Flight of the Conchords tribute band.
Yeah.
So Ollie really has
There's
the
a
niche
theme
for
here.
best and only bands.
Just to mention about vocals there. So Matt, you mentioned, so you can you sing as high as Jimmy Jameson, the guy who sung the Baywatch theme? So, and any other vocals are within his range, or is it just something that you can just manage to-
Technically, I can.
only
Again,
towards
we're
the
back.
end of the set. You
Yeah,
have to
and
be
we're
so
we're
warmed
back
up,
on a
yeah.
technicality, yes, and we do put all the hard to sing songs near the end of the set so that I'm warmed up.
Although there is one song where we can't reach the note, so we worked out a seamless solution for the audience. But you'll have to come and see us to find out what that.
Yeah,
seamless
but it's
solution is.
incredibly clever,
is
and you'll never spot
Brilliant,
it.
Yeah,
You'll never
it's
spot
brilliant.
it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I was just seeing that with the vocals, like, most other bands, like I don't know how to put it, like the songs are always a similar theme and similar keys. Is that a challenge on its own? Or are you rearranging to different keys to suit yourself? I mean, how do you get around some of that?
We find it equally difficult in any key. So,
Yeah.
what are you saying?
I don't even know what a key is.
No, he's the drummer. Come on, get back down to earth.
Barely play the drums.
Yeah, I mean, we mainly, if we need to change key, it's usually for a segue because all the songs are so short and punchy. We kind of theme the themes. So we'll do a little theme of like game show themes. And
Right.
if we're going to change key, it's usually because we need to do a medley of stuff. But
All right.
but equally, we discovered quite early on that me singing falsetto with Matt singing low works quite well.
Yeah.
And in other songs, the other way round. And then we've got Ollie who can sing super low, and Alex actually can sing really well, probably better than us, to be fair.
Yeah, Alex is
That's
actually
very-
too vocally gifted for this band.
Yeah, he's
That's
good.
fine.
He shows us up.
Summarised, between us, we do have a voice.
We manage.
Yeah. The sum is definitely equal to its parts.
Yeah.
So you don't have voices because you're not a band with voices. You're just a voice. Just
Yes, we're
all
one
of you, so just
unified
one
theme
voice.
tune voice. Absolutely.
Between us, we can cobble together almost anything. There's nothing
Yeah.
beyond us. Well, actually, that's not true. There's nothing we're not willing to do in public.
Yes.
Both.
Yeah.
Just
You see, I was agreeing. I was agreeing without.
Yeah, there is. Look how we
I
look.
give a. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm guessing that's the other challenge in putting together a set list, because all these theme songs sometimes have such different voices as well. You're kind of going from like maybe clean sounds to grungier, slower, and like how do you actually make a set list that flows from that? It's quite a challenge, and also they're so short as well sometimes.
Yes, exactly, and we've kind of arrived at a 90-minute set list that's kind of split into, I think, 4 different sections, maybe 5 actually. So we sort of start off with like more of the instrumental American stuff.
Stay Morning.
Yeah.
Bangers. Yeah. The 18 Knight Rider. All of that.
Yeah,
Sort of
and
stuff.
then
Rocky's in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get a bit silly, so we go into like Rhubarb and Custard, a little rave section. Grange Hill, so that becomes a bit more UK centric. It becomes UK centric for quite a long time after that, doesn't it? Because we have Red Dwarf, and then once you get out of the sort of the UK TV stuff, then we get into what we call the
Australia.
Yes, Australia. So we get to Neighbours and Home and Away. Neighbours, I can do that now. We get into Neighbours, and Home and Away. And then where do we go from there? Should put the set list in front of us now.
Yeah, we've got a new section that's on
the motivational, inspirational, so sensational bit. So that involves Gillette, Gladiators, and a special body form. Yeah. And that's it for that. It's quite short because we're not a very inspiring or motivated band.
No.
And then we've got Ollie came up with the name for the film stuff, which was Ollie. So the future. So that's your Power of Loves, your Danger
You're
Zone.
the best.
You're the best, Karate Kid. Any else?
Thunderdome?
Yeah.
No. What's Thunderdome? We don't need another hero. Don't do that. But
We probably could.
We probably couldn't on that evidence.
We probably should. But no, we got the new section, which is the game shows, which is
it's my favourite
amazing.
bit.
Yeah, it's amazing. Whenever we do new stuff, we do love it. But like Blockbusters, it's a work of art. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The game show medley. The game show medley is, which we haven't played out live yet because we're still rehearsing it. Is what is it? Blind Date, Funhouse, Going for Gold. What's the next one? You just Nightmare.
Oh yes,
yes, Nightmare, and then into Blockbusters, and then usually that's where we have I'll have a pee, please, Bob break.
Yes.
So that usually ends.
I think the
first set.
amazing thing about the Blockbusters one is that I can remember a couple of years back just listening to that tune non-stop, like over and over and over. It's the only game show theme that can just. It's so you can listen to it time and time again. And it's just
the excitement. Dun 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 dun. Something's happening. Yeah, amazing.
So actually, that does lead on nicely to the thing that we've discovered is that the reason why these themes are so good is that they're compositional genius masterpieces, and Blockbuster is one of them. Blockbusters, sorry, what am I saying? Blockbusters is one of them, and it really, it's so effortless to listen to, but it's actually very complex in its composition. And the other example of that is so genius is Toys R Us. Toys R Us sounds so simple, and kids can sing along with it, but it's additionally incredibly complex for like 15 seconds or however long it is. It's amazing.
Yeah, because it does seem to be something that's kind of been lost, and like with the Netflix is like good banging theme songs or even just intro sequences.
Yeah,
I mean every Netflix true crime thing is the same. Nearly every Netflix special, they've all got the same intro and stock music. It's just it's just quite boring now.
It's been a lost art for 20 years. I blame Lost for the lost art, ironic.
Oh, yeah. I blame Lost for a lot of things.
Great, thanks. Can't hum that.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah,
sing
they-
along piss to that.
It was also that they were willing to spend the money on a theme tune, and like back in the 70s and 80s, they were orchestras playing these things that are top, and they would hire a top composer. So some of these people, some of the theme tunes are composed by people who have a catalogue of proper music as well as theme tunes, and
And a
that's
forward
kind of
catalogue.
why. And I think
We've
What?
and a forward catalogue of proper music. We've recently added a Hans Zimmer tune to our repertoire, haven't we?
All right, nice one.
Yeah, so going. Did you know this? Here's a fact.
Yes.
Going for Gold was written by Hans Zimmer. It was one of his first compositions. Because wasn't he in bands before? Alex knows the real detail. But I believe
Well,
that,
he was in some German techno pop ensembles, and I don't know how he got hired to do this, but yeah,
he needed
it sounds
the
very
money.
cheap and Casio tone. Yeah, basically, he needed the money. They needed a tune. They weren't that discerning. The lyrics are very literal, not a lot of metaphor in the Going for
No.
Gold theme. Very unpretentious and straight to the point, and quite cheap sounding, and not really indicative of where his career would take him in the latter years. But it's a nice,
Excellent
nice fact.
synopsis.
Thanks, man.
It's almost a bit like Randy Newman there a wee bit, because Randy Newman, who was known years before as a solo singer-songwriter, and obviously he started working with Disney in the 1990s and all that. So Hans Zimmer, since though he was in that kind of direction, although it seems as though he became more known for what he did after being in a band instead of where he was before, whereas Randy Newman was kind of known in both circles before, Disney got introduced to a new generation.
Yeah, well, he's
absolutely.
one of the greats. Like lyric, you can't touch on.
But
I think what's weird about the theme tunes, though, is that, of course, back in the 70s, they had the library music, so people would just make random compositions and store them in a library ready to go. Like,
and that's
great.
Grange
very
Hill
much
was as well, yeah.
Grange Hill was because Grange Hill was also used on "Give Us a Clue" because it was a piece of
really?
library music, and so it was the theme to "Give Us a Clue" originally as well. And Keith Mansfield came from that whole KPM library music scene, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, so Grandstand, Wimbledon, all of that kind of stuff. It was, but they, like you say, they recorded it with orchestras and
Well, the other thing about it back then is that you had to be good to get access to a recording studio, and you had to have access to other musicians and all of that stuff. Whereas now, anyone can do stuff in their bedroom. So there isn't that sort of like that basic bar of cutting your teeth before you actually sort of are exposed to the public. So I think there's something in that as well, that you have to be exceptional to sort of be seen.
yes. Yeah, it was quite an elite thing, wasn't it? To be a theme tune composer, you it's not going to be a 3-chord trick,
Yeah. And I just had to ask you mentioned Grange Hill over there.
What, that one?
Yeah, that one. Everyone points.
Wow.
Have you guys?
This is where one of us needs the sausage on a fork.
Yes.
God damn it! Why don't we have a massive sausage on a fork?
Yeah. This is just sort of personal. Have you got any plans to do the 90s Grange Hill, which is that's my
Yes, we have talked about that for about a year, and
yes,
there was a chance of mashing it up with the bill, but we've put the bill in something else now.
All right.
yes.
Put the bill in Ghostbusters.
It makes a brilliant joke. It's incredibly difficult to suddenly switch into 7/8 in the middle of Ghostbusters, but it's worth it. We'll do anything for our art.
Absolutely. Someone's dog doesn't like theme tunes.
Okay.
Yes, but we always have the list of tunes to do was really massive, and it's gone down, and Grange Hill 90s it's in that small list now. Thundercats was in that list for a long time, and we put it off, and now it's in. It's probably my favourite song I know I
Yeah.
said Baywatch was probably
Yeah.
my favourite song, but no, I think because it's that excitement of the new, because we've only been doing Thundercats for a few months, and everybody loves it. It never goes down badly.
Yeah, it's
And
brilliant.
I've got to ask, are you? Is it difficult? You must get a lot of requests. There must be like people. Oh, surely you've got to have this, and like the list of things you would like to do must be massive as well.
Yes, although I think we do get a lot of TikTok and YouTube and Instagram
live,
comments.
people just
and
shout
live
stuff
people
out.
shout out. But that's really nice because it's this sort of very easy interactive thing that comes naturally. It's not like we're always shouting out, what theme tune shall we do? It's like, people actively want to shout in our faces, and what can you ask for?
But and actually, it's got to the point now where really, because building the set is really difficult to make it all flow and where do you go after Gladiators? There is somewhere you can go, but you can't go to just a random song because it's so high intensity. But it's now got to the point where, in order to introduce a new song, we've got to have an idea of how it fits in the set.
Yeah.
And so that sort of, once we figure that out, they go in really quickly. That's probably the barrier for Grange Hill 1990s.
Yeah.
We all want to do it, but how do we thread it in the set in a way?
Yeah.
that
And what sort of ended up happening with this band more recently is it has become a sort of a comedy act in a way. So every song has to have a reason to be there, or a connecting joke, or a everything has to now be justified, because this has sort of been 2 years' work to get it to the point where it's a show rather than a collection of songs.
Yeah.
And it's quite good now. But yeah, so now it's like, well, you go, well, what's the point in that song? Is it funny? I'm not sure if it's funny. Is it fun?
nostalgic.
Does everyone know it? Do 99% of people, do they know it? They might not know why they know it, but they know it. Because this is a point, we'll get quite a few people going, why don't you do this tune? And you go, I don't know that. Can you hum it? And then they go, no. And you're like, well, then no. That's the if you don't know how it goes and you're suggesting it, then what you're remembering is a title sequence or the show. You're not remembering the theme tune.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and the other thing that's interesting,
and then we just walk away from them, ignore. Try and sell them a T-shirt.
So an audience suggestion made it into the set recently was Dog Tanyan. We just got that requested so many times that's what sparked doing a whole cartoon medley, which we do as well.
Yes, it was a show in Reading, wasn't it? There was a show in Reading where somebody just kept shouting, Dog Tanyan! Like, all right, Musker Hounds!
We do love it. Yeah, it's a great. But the other thing that's interesting is we've done some more obscure, and they go down brilliantly because obviously it's really niche and everyone shares it like mad. And then we'll play it live, and people go, "What was that?" and a great example of that is Xenon 2, which is such a banging tune. But
do you know that from the Amiga game? So it was Xenon 2 Mega Blast. So it was it was actually a Bomb the Bass track that they used in the game. And for our so for our particular, and it was, I think it was a radio hit and stuff as well, but you get some people, mainly sort of people our age who used to play on the Amiga a lot, and the Atari ST,
also
going, this is amazing. But if we did in the early days play it, and people are just like, you might have one person going, oh my god, and then everybody else going, what? I mean, what? So yeah, when that happens, drop it.
Bergerac was like that as well, and
I love Bergerac.
Bergerac was so good, and yet
it's brilliant.
Like, people just go, "Oh, I don't know." You only a very niche amount of people who are exactly.
And I think actually it's worse for that now, because we used to have the big screens behind us. So if we were playing an instrumental song and people couldn't go, "Oh, what's that?" because you'd have the bloody Bergerac logo behind you, or so you'd still have that making sense. We don't bother with the screens now because it's just a distraction, because now we're we've got jokes and we're moving about a lot on stage and we're doing a lot
Well,
more.
we wear
So
very, very short shorts as well, and we don't want to detract from our
no,
short.
absolutely. Well, the shorts are the star of the show.
They are also
So-
the danger zone of the show.
the literal danger zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the shorts and our general on-stage banter now, because we didn't used to wear these lovely outfits. We used to wear dad jumpers. So, which was insane, really. I mean, quite funny.
hot.
Yeah,
But we nearly died at a couple of gigs.
yeah,
like, from heat.
like, literally, yeah, it was.
There's
outrageous.
one show in Brighton where they sort of, it's at the back of a pub, the Brunswick. It's a nice venue, but it's at the back of the pub. You can get about 100 people in there, and they shut the doors, and there's no aircon, and they keep the doors shut so that the noise doesn't leak into the pub and people can't get in for free. But what basically means is essentially you're playing in a sauna.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
and that
stage
was the
lights
show
on you
when we
as well.
debuted the Pyro as well.
Yes, we did. We had our fantastic pyro and lasers at that show. We will be bringing out the pyro and the lasers for most of the shows this year. And when I say pyro, it's a couple of cold spark machines, but we were really excited about it.
Well, it depends on the venue. Sometimes it's party poppers, which is
Yes,
nostalgic in itself. That's
well,
the best. But that's the best.
The best is
pyro.
actually better with the party poppers than the. But if you can give out 50 party poppers to a small room, but on a festival scale, it's a bit.
Also,
Yeah, it's a bit-
some venues are less keen on the mess that it leaves behind.
Yeah, we've had a couple of people at the end, coming up, and because usually from venues you'll get, oh, great show, thanks very much, blah blah blah. And you get a couple of people going, I've got to clear that up now. Like all this party popper nonsense from AT party popper.
It's the smell. I just love the smell of the party poppers when they all go.
It's so
just
nostalgic. So yeah, it is worth it. It is worth the. We did start actually. I think the first packet of party poppers I bought were from Waitrose, and now we're on Tesco Extra.
Oh, the budget's come down.
Yeah, the budget's gone down, but also the number of party poppers needed has gone up. So it's a double whammy.
Again,
It's a bit like the Big Mac index financially. It's just
smaller gigs. We can also give out Ferrero Rocher. So there's real benefit to coming and seeing us at smaller gigs. But like we're saying, we're kind of moving into bigger venues where we can't do it. So if you do see a small venue where we're playing, it's kind of
there is
more...
one coming up. We have one show. He says in Whitney in Oxford. The Part and Parcel, which is our only free show this year because it's basically in a pub, and that's on the November the 14th. So that if you want the full in your face party popper experience, then and as if by magic, November the 14th, Whitney, Part and Parcel. Sorry, I do that voice when I'm nervous. Yeah. But yeah, everything else you got to pay money to get in. That one is blimey. I hope that's not me.
No, that was me. Sorry, I'll just put it on mute. I guess the mute doesn't work because my dog's about to.
The mute button is
that's the world's worst mute button. Isn't it? You need to relabel it as deafening noise button.
It's not working. Okay.
Yeah, so basically, all of those dates they're either ticketed shows. 19th of December at the 1865 Southampton is a double headline slot with Professor Elemental, which will be really great fun. I would imagine some people who watch this podcast may have heard of Professor Elemental. He
Gentleman's rap.
He is the world's finest purveyor of chap hop or indeed gentleman's rap.
We'll have to. We'll put him on the list.
Yeah, it's in the top. Actually, it's Mr. B, the gentleman rhymer. The two of them have got beef, I believe.
A neighbour.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about chat pop. We're here to talk about theme tunes.
Just a quick question: have you ever opened to? Well, maybe it's not exactly in the same league, but who's the guy that did the crikey? What's his name? Kool and the Gang. Did you ever open for Kool and the Gang at all, or is that totally different league?
Kool and the Gang? No.
It's a guy. Carl, you'll know who they are. It's the wrong Ian Watkins and all them parody kind of.
Oh, that's not Cool in the Gang. That's Cunt in the
Oh,
Gang.
I think
Oh,
yeah.
God,
K,
yeah,
I think you're talking about KUNT in the Gang. Yes,
K in the
which is a
Gang,
very
yeah.
different. Yes, I'm aware of
Who's
his
Cool
work.
in the Gang again?
Yeah.
Something
Cool in the
totally
Gang are a
Cool in the
70s.
Gang,
Cool in the
yeah.
Gang are a 70s disco band.
I apologize. I apologize.
well,
Yeah,
they,
Ladies' Night is a massive Cool in the
Jungle
Gang.
Yeah.
was
They're
that Jungle
amazing.
Boogie?
K in the
Yeah.
Oh
Gang.
no,
brilliant.
Ollie,
with
do
swinging.
Ollie, do the Jungle Boogie thing.
Because it's got that kind of like,
Get down with the good down.
get down, get down.
Yes, there we go. No, KUNT and the Gang, I'm aware, and he's quite funny, isn't he? But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we have never opened for them, and I wouldn't think it'd be a good fit because
I think it's
we're family friendly.
More family friendly. Gotcha.
I mean, and he's definitely not, but he is very funny.
yes.
Depends on the fact.
He was
it's a
very
big,
big. Wasn't he very big on YouTube a while
yes,
back? Like
it'd be a bit of a tonal
shift,
I don't know.
U-turn.
very much so.
I was only
Um,
just maybe bringing that in just because that there was humorous aspects to the
Oh, yeah.
music that he does. However,
Definitely.
there is a definite, how would you say, difference in style because his is more
But
political.
that is
you guys are
you've
more.
made a very good point that the whole novelty market, or comedy music market that we are sort of part of, has exploded in the last few years with Elvana, Nick Cage Against the Machine, the Ogre Tones, us. That's it, really. No, there's loads. There's loads more, but we're the big
Ones
four.
we care to mention.
Yeah, they're the ones we're happy to promote. But there is a kind of scene like when we're playing Tramlines next weekend, and the Ogre Tones are on in the same stage on the Friday, and we're doing the Saturday. So it's a nice scene at the moment, and I talked to the guy from the Ogre Tones, and he's lovely, and it seems very. I think this is the perfect time for a band like this at the moment because everyone's quite accepting of. Well, they don't play their own music, but they've got like Elvana's just mashing up two different things. Nick Cage Against the Machine is literally, it's just Rage Against the Machine, but brilliantly packaged. And it's very funny. So I think nobody's kind of going, oh, they don't play their own music if it has a strong concept.
I definitely agree with that. And I think even I've noticed, even from people I've been talking to, is that there's a hunger to come back to not just, with novelty acts, but nostalgia's playing a big role in bringing new acts to the fore on subject matter that is, more accommodating to listeners today. Like when I was growing up as a teenager, it was, very down, negative kind of stuff. And I'm not talking like rock music. I'm talking about stuff that was in the charts. But what I think I've noticed that there's been this dynamics shift in a lot of people being more accepting to more, I wouldn't say happier music, but maybe more like, how can I say?
Feel good. Feel good.
It's feel good though,
music,
but it's I think without getting heavy, if you are in dark times, then you need some silliness.
Yeah.
And I think silliness is what needed more than ever now. And I think, that whole scene and the fact that someone like Elvana, who are essentially a mashup covers band, are playing massive festivals and huge venues like the academies and all of that, is a reflection on, a lot of people just want to go out and have a silly night. That's not saying that other forms of music aren't relevant now. It's just that I think the novelty thing is bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Well, we have nostalgia on our side as well, which is unbelievably strong. In some tunes, the audience are just sort of like, oh, it almost made me cry. Which we've had people come up in a good way.
Little List Hobo, we've had that. We had a guy come up to.
I assume that was your singing did that.
Yeah.
But other
Exactly.
ones that kind of make you want to run along and skid on your knees, like the A-Team and Knight Rider and stuff.
Yes.
And then
And like you were Don, like you were saying with Blockbusters, it just kicks something in your head of like, oh, here we go, I'm excited, and it's going back to being 10 years old.
And the audience also love. So we learned quite early on to not overly signpost everything that we're doing, because actually the audience love going, oh, what's the next one? Oh, what's this? And trying to recognize what it is. And things like, blockbusters and stuff, when it comes in, it's like, oh, it's so familiar. It's like, what is it? What is it? And it's like, oh, it's blockbusters.
And that was another reason
brilliant.
to ditch the visuals, because you're spoiling that for people.
Yes.
They're going, oh, I remember that, because they see the visuals and they're like, it was
a conscious decision, to get rid of the visuals. It worked to begin with, but it's not as audience involving. One of the things that we all really love about this band is because we don't take ourselves that seriously. There's a much closer connection with the audience, and also if we make a cock up, oh, it's fabulous. You can just lead into it. It's like they become some of the highlights of the shows when someone makes a cock up and someone else sort of points it out to the audience, and the audience really get involved. And sort of, we did one. Alex couldn't make it because he was playing in Germany to hundreds of thousands of people, and I'm not joking either. And so we had a keyboard player in, and he missed the whistle cue. We have on my first whistle in Gladiators, he missed the cue, so we stopped and made him do it again, and he got a massive sort of audience reaction from doing just the whistle thing properly.
Yeah.
So
Well, he
it's
was a
another
good
reason why we
pet
don't-
then, because I always miss that bit. So
You do.
Yeah, but you miss it in a different way.
Yeah.
Because he never brings the whistle. He loses.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You don't bring the whistle in the first place. Yeah.
So I was going to say that, what is the demographic of your audience like? Are you surprised how mixed it is?
Really surprised at the mix. I mean, obviously there's a core of Gen X, I would say.
Yeah.
But then you get older and a lot younger. Like I can't remember if we said earlier, Baywatch is kind of a leveler, especially at festivals. You'll get everybody singing along that can sing. It's quite crazy. And I'm not quite sure why Baywatch is such a leveler. I mean, they brought out a film of it, but I guess, is it a bit like with Friends, though? Is it a bit like with Friends that somehow millennials and Gen Z are watching, or Gen Z are watching a lot of Baywatch, kind of ironically? I don't know.
Well, it's like we were saying, you need some silliness or escape, and that's what Baywatch was ultimately. It's something everyone forget. It's got this idea, it's just teenage boys watching at the time, but families were sitting watching that. I remember, and I can't where I was reading this, but they said the majority of Baywatch viewers were women, overwhelmingly.
Oh, really?
I thought that too, actually.
Yeah,
that's
it's like, if
interesting,
you go and look it up, it
Yeah.
said it was like 60% of folk who were watching Baywatch were women. It's
In
like
the UK or just
worldwide,
everywhere?
and it was
Right.
the most watched show on earth as well. So there's some
crazy.
power. There's something about Baywatch, but I think they reckoned what it was the women characters in it. They were doing all the action stuff as well. I know, in slow motion and with certain camera, but
Yeah.
Well,
there-
come to one of our
there was
shows and you
women.
can see. So,
Yes, absolutely.
We don't.
But
But
it was just the fact there were women doing things in it that weren't just. I mean, they were eye candy, but they were also part of the
they
story.
were
in their
actually
own
part
way.
of the story.
I thought a lot of girls really thought, like David Hasselhoff was kind of hot
Oh yeah.
for them as well.
Well,
so therefore you get the
We all
women
think that,
demographic.
surely. Hot.
Come on, the hotness of the Hasselhoff cannot
Yeah.
be denied. Yeah.
But
And
actually, again, you've touched on something. The way that we built the set, we have to find the songs that have that common.
Yeah.
They either have to be cross-generational, like Ghostbusters and Knight Rider and all that. They're cross-generational, same with Gladiators, or they just have to be such good fun songs that even if you haven't heard them, people still dance at it and enjoy them. So there's a lot of, when we are building the set, really and truly, it's how the audience reacts that determines whether things stay in, whether they get moved, anything like that, because it has to work for, like we do loads of festivals, it has to work for a festival audience. We can't just go too far down the nostalgia route. But when we do a full, we're saying 90 minutes, but I think it's 100 minutes at the moment.
Yeah, it's 100 minutes now.
When we did the
And
full
we were for some reason, and I think it might have been my fault, I was just like, no, let's just power through. Let's never have a break. Let's never ever have a break. And now we've got some theatre shows coming up where you have to do a break, sort of contractually. We're like, This is actually quite nice,
We
especially
need a broke. We're-
especially especially earlier when I was
Alright.
moaning about being so hot. You're like, oh, right, I can actually cool down for 10 minutes.
when we do the full 100-minute show, they're more of a captive audience. So that's when some more niche stuff comes into play. Like the Littlest Hobo. We wouldn't play the Littlest Hobo at a festival because anyone that isn't between the ages of, I don't know, 40 and 50, I'm going to know it.
Well, we had the discussion today about Saturday, the Bedford River Festival, and we sort of realised that we shouldn't do this new game show medley, even though we're really excited because it's our new thing, with Blind Date and Funhouse and Going for Gold. That again, it's niche, and our age will probably get it, but it's not.
Luckily,
It's not about.
We're playing a private party in the evening that has a TV theme, so we will get to play it.
Oh yeah, we will be doing it. We will be doing it. We'll just
Just not at the festival.
but to a private party instead of an audience of thousands. He says it's going to be rain. It's going to rain.
It's going to rain.
It's going to rain hard.
The 7 people in Max.
Yeah.
Front.
Oh yes. So we did this festival up at Rock the Lakes Festival up in the Lake District, and the heavens opened. We did
played
two sets. Really weird. It was really weird programming. We were on first, then there was another band, and then there was us again. And for the band in the middle, there was pretty much Glorious Sunshine, but we got rain.
Not just rain.
No, like the heavens,
which was getting on, collapsing the
stage. Oh yeah. There was loads of water coming in and onto like equipment and stuff. It was that bad.
Yeah, but the highlight of that, and I wish we had the 360 camera, but we didn't.
We didn't. We had four cammers. They were filming it all for the screens, but there were no audience.
So the audience, the bit that was the highlight for me is we played Home and Away, and these 2 girls that worked at this holiday bar, they just suddenly came out of nowhere and did this synchronized dance in the absolute torrential dance.
Yeah.
Home and Away. It was wonderful, but like we said, the cameras were all like on us, and we're like, hey, look at that.
That's the interesting thing. Yeah.
There were lots of people watching it, but they were all indoors, so we couldn't see them.
So far, our kind of successful festival appearances have all been indoors, sort of tented stages, like truck festival and stuff. They've been great shows, but
the cowshed, yes,
the cowshed,
and it smelled like it too.
It did, but that was we were really late. That it was an amazing gig, but we were really, really, really late.
We were late because we took a detour. It was for Truck Fest,
and we were stuck behind it.
Do you want to do a detour and save some time? And we went, yes, we do. And we ended up on a single track road with, ironically, a juggernaut meeting a recovery lorry for juggernauts at the top of a hill. And one of them had to reverse all the way down, like, I don't know, mile and a half down the road. We were so late. That was with
exactly
Eastenders.
So we turn up, probably 2 hours later than we should have. So we've got about 20 minutes to set up, and we're basically on before, Barry from EastEnders does his karaoke thing. So we were the band on before that, which is amazing. And Barry was lovely, and gave us one of the best quotes we've had. But yeah, so we were literally setting up to nobody, and then turn round and there's like, oh God, there's 800 people here. But
no sound check.
No sound check, nothing, because we were 2 hours late. So
and just for clarity, it was empty. So we arrived empty.
Yes.
We turned around, there's 800 people in there and no sound check. Let's go.
And they were brilliant. They all went mental. But yeah, could have done without the juggernaut action. But yeah, my point is that Saturday should be our fingers crossed, our first outside festival show that isn't in the pouring rain. I've jinxed it. But hopefully there'll be 200,000 people in the festival area, and we're on the main stage, so hopefully we'll have at least 1% of that.
One person. We should have at least one person.
One person that isn't. I believe there'll be 4 cameramen and a monitor guy and a front of house engineer. So that's 6 people.
Guaranteed.
So,
yeah.
Guaranteed, yeah.
yeah, guaranteed. But if you live in the Bedford area, it is free, and we're on from 4 till 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the mains. The mains.
And I was saying I wanted to ask the other thing as I watched the videos is the mashups. How do they come about?
Grange Hill mixed with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh, there isn't one.
Yeah, that's one of them. And I saw he's down there, Night Rider with the Umbongo theme was another one. You
Yes. Well, the Nightmare with the Umbongo, that was just an edit that I did.
Yeah.
So, we did try it out
We
live,
did try
actually.
it.
But it didn't really work.
difficult
Again, it was one of those
see,
things
yeah,
that it was a sort of funny,
Yeah.
like Instagram video, but as a live thing, it's a bit too niche. But the Grange Hill mashed up with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that never fails, because you get a minute of people going, "Way Grange Hill," and then you get a minute of "Way Fresh Prince of Bel-Air." And we used to just use the sample of Will Smith, and I would trigger that on the sample pad. But now I just rap it in a bad way. But I think that's still miles better than a disembodied Will Smith.
Yeah, but how did you come about though? Was it just they were all, somehow they played at the same time and
what that came from was, and how maybe the concept of this band might have started in my head at least, was during COVID, me and a load of other sort of musicians and sound engineers had a comedy remix competition, because there wasn't much else to do. And I think one of the ones, it might not have been me that did it, but one of the winners of the competition was that. So Grange Hill, but with the a cappella of Grange, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So maybe that's what was in my head. That's probably where it came from, because I don't think anybody else had done it at that point. It probably was because I would have loaded it into the sample pad. That's another thing, without getting too technical. Our big thing is that we don't use backing tracks. I've just mentioned the sample pad, but we trigger samples and that's it. We don't use backing tracks, and it's quite incredible how many bands use backing tracks now. So we do pride ourselves on being a 4-piece band that plays everything live.
We can't use backing tracks because we cock up too much.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Problem,
and if we did, it wouldn't be fun. We could probably get away with it, but half the time, if things go wrong, it's funny. And if you've got a backing track banging on, it's like, well, that's not funny, is it?
And we can play and we all sing. So actually, as a 4-piece, like Live and Let Die surprises me every time. Like, how do we pull that off in any way? But it sounds huge. It's like, but back to the mashup thing, it's partly how do we thread stuff into the set, and a good example is we started to thread in chocolate bar adverts into stuff, and then it's where does it fit? So Gladiators now it's turned into this epic thing where we mash up Gladiators with the Flake adverts, with Join Our Club,
Join Our Club,
and we were desperate. We were so desperate for so long to get the final countdown in the set, and we're like, well, it's not a theme tune. How do we get it in? And then we figured out that actually it fitted into Gladiators with a bit of a comedy twist. So
and we've got a trio in
Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock's got trio in it.
Yeah. So once we stumble across the theme, we milk it until it's dry.
Sounds nice. But and as we were sort of saying earlier, this has been 2 years worth of work, and most of this stuff, or all of it, kind of happens organically. I don't think there's any moments where it's, if you come back to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air thing or whatever, none of that it might have happened subconsciously, but no one's come into rehearsal going, I have got this brilliant idea to mash up this with this, or do this and that. It's, it's just for people mucking about in a rehearsal room, really.
We play around with it, and usually we get Alex to figure out how it actually works.
Yes.
He's the most competent.
Yes, those pesky chords and keys and things that I don't understand.
Yeah,
I want to ask.
I took lessons. Yeah,
He's classically trained,
It is, yeah.
Well, Alex, you're classically trained. Alex,
Uh,
you're classically trained, are you?
Yeah. And the first things are is a joy to me that that's finally a set and bringing it all back home. You know,
Ask.
The
I
life's
just want to
complete.
ask. I just want to ask. We talk about the infinite amount of theme songs that can be done. Have you ever thought of any theme songs that you cannot do or you don't want to do that are maybe just increasingly annoying or for other various reasons?
I don't think it's not that, without saying, oh, he can play anything, but I think we've tried a lot. It's more that, like with Bergerac, we've gone, that just, we can play it, but there's no point to it. I'm not aware, because I mean, we are, without being, we're quite good musicians. We are a good band. We're not like some comedy bands where they're comedians first and they can play a bit of instrument. We're musicians first. So it's been more the comedy stuff and the joke writing, as it were. That's the stuff that's not come natural to us so much. But because we've now got a combination of 4 people that are pretty funny, and we've all got our own sort of roles, it is pretty natural, this stuff. It's not stilted. And I'm really happy with how it is now after 2 years. It's turned out really well.
We've also just had a nice period where we had, I don't know, like 3 or 4 weeks without a gig, which is great because we can work on elements of the set. But in that 3 or 4 weeks, we tried loads of stuff. We added all the cartoon stuff. We added the game show stuff. And again, some of it worked. We can play any of it, but it's how well it works in the set and how well it goes down with the audience. Kind of. So we're musicians. We've been around for a long time. Anyone that's a musician will understand that the gig that you go down, the absolute best is where you play terribly, and the gig where you play the best, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm going to the bar," and you go, "It's kind of, the show is so important."
Yes.
To bring the audience in. And that's why we love this so much, because it has that interaction. Like we said, if we make a cock up, we lead into it, the audience get involved in it, and it's a riot basically, and it's just brilliant fun it's brilliant fun for us and the audience. And the other thing is that it's the band that we would love to walk in and this band's amazing. We would love to be the audience for our own band.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, we had to become the band because the band didn't exist.
Yes. Yeah. And that's
for me,
quite
the only
handy
metric was the gig any good. Sorry, the only metric for like, was the gig any good, is like, it doesn't matter if someone like missed a note or something. It's like, how many smiling faces were there in the audience? Did people have a good time? Enjoy it? Yes, then it was a good gig. Then shut up. Then don't worry that you dropped that note.
Because it's gone, isn't it? But I think we've all played in reasonably technical bands before, and where it's sort of music first and trying to impress people, and this is just the opposite of it. It's not about impressing anybody, it's about having a good time. And that's quite liberating, actually, just to have fun.
It really is, yeah.
Rather than I play in a prog rock band as well, and it's a completely different attitude. This is the most fun band I've ever played in, and I can't really see me playing in anything more fun than this. I don't think that's possible.
There was something else. Like, was it a conscious decision to keep your accents when you're doing the singing, even with the American? Because I love that. Whenever I hear anyone singing just in their natural accent, and just say, bugger, I'm not doing that American. Was that cause that just you can't sing any other way?
I don't know. I mean, I know Alex does do the American rock thing. I may be trying to do an American rock thing at points, but my kind of Sussex accent can't and won't let me.
I know.
That's probably what's happening.
Yeah.
And if I think a guy from Sussex trying to sound like an American is more funny than just somebody being good at sounding American.
when you do Ghostbusters, when you say an invisible man sleeping in your bed, it sounds so much better in the Sussex accent. I love that.
Yeah, it wasn't really a conscious decision. Yeah.
Again, yeah, but
The
again,
way we're
that's
built,
just
yeah,
all those things. Yeah, because there's that bit, and you just go, "An invisible man," right? But that was never. Oh, it just happened at a gig once because it's funny, and then because it's a comedy thing, you see people laugh, and you go, "Well, that's good." And so in a way, it's a bit like a comedian routine in his
we have the
his
same thing.
stand-up set.
The Cockney section. It's where we're
yes,
kind of
'cause
doing
we-
two
yes.
Cockneys, yes.
Yeah, because
Hello, that's
we
Cockney.
are extremely
We're
Cockney. Yeah, so it again, this cannot be stressed enough that this has not been meticulously planned and is a complete accident, and things just sort of happen.
Yeah, that's the other thing that is nice. That the comedy piece of it is, if you ever hear any comedian talking about it, they write a joke and then that's why they do all the little gigs, because they try it, and the joke that they think is fantastic goes down like a lead balloon. And a throwaway joke gets a massive laugh, and they very, very audience interactive. And coming from lots of serious bands, that's the thing this band has, and not just for the comedy, it's for everyone just gets involved. There's no gig ever that people don't come up and make suggestions to us.
Yes.
And go, oh, I loved that one. Oh, that was so brilliant. Oh, I loved it all. Oh, I was having a bad day and I feel so good now because I can't believe that you've played all my favorite tunes. So, it's a real breath of fresh air for us all. It's just a real riot. And like we say, it happened accidentally. I don't want to say organic. I want to say accidentally.
Yeah, it's very much an accident.
It's a joke that got out of hand.
Not a band, the joke that got out of hand. Yeah.
Because it's got to be quite significant when you've got folk dancing away to the Grange Hill theme tune on a Saturday night at your gig. That's just got to be like, this means something to people. Donald, are you coming in there?
Yeah, I was just going to. Well, I was almost tempted to put in a few quickfire questions, but I was only thinking of just like some specific themes, because we were talking about blockbusters and we were talking about there was another thing that we spoke about. I think it was Baywatch, and there was one theme in particular. I just want to ask, have you guys done yet? Have you done the MacGyver theme song yet?
Can you tell it? What is it?
The MacGyver theme song. Okay.
I don't know, but I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, if we'd known it, we would have joined.
You're hired. You're in.
Yeah.
You're in, the fifth member. Look, and you're there. You're there in the lineup, and Cal's managing us now, right? Next year we're millionaires.
No, definitely check it out, because that was another show from the 80s when the A-Team, it was around the same time the A-Team was about, but it was very action comedy centric. And the first time I actually heard about it was on The Simpsons. And then because Patty and Selma, the two characters, loved the show. So I checked it out myself. And when I heard the theme song, I went, oh, that's pretty good, actually. I like that. So
because isn't it a phrase? If you MacGyver something, you're constructing something new. A bit like how the A-Team got locked with a screwdriver and a pen and managed to make a bazooka.
He used to make little inventions out of scraps, basically, to get himself out of tricky situations. And the guy who plays him, I don't know too much about the guy.
Richard Dean Anderson.
Richard Dean Anderson. But the other guy that's with him is sidekick, the more hefty kind of fellow. He was in The Sting with Robert Redford. I can't even remember his name at the minute, but he played the FBI undercover agent in that film. But so I just thought I would ask that. I do have one more, actually, and this is actually a show maybe a little bit more for the younger kind of folk, but it has a lot of variations on the same theme, and it's been mashed together by different bands before. Power Rangers. Have you done that yet?
No, we haven't. And what we're trying to drill down on, what we found has been the most effective, is 80s and sort of early 90s. And that seems to be the...
outside the range.
Yeah. And Power Rangers, I'm sure for a lot of people is really nostalgic, but is it more mid 90s, late 90s? It certainly wasn't part of my childhood. So,
well, it's
from your
also
generation, I would say it's after. But if I was to probably
so
get
it's
a cover
more of a
band-
millennial kind
what
of
are you saying, Donald?
thing.
No, I was just going to say, if I
Are
get a
you
band
saying-
together,
Are
if
you
I-
saying we're getting on a bit?
No, no, I'm not suggesting that at all. Actually, yes, I am.
Correct.
No,
Correct, we are.
it's that if I got a band together, probably did the same kind of niche. I think the interesting thing, I'll tell you who I watched. There's a guy on YouTube I watched called Niall Stevenson, I think his name was, and he does a lot of cover songs of shows from the 90s and the mid 2000s. And the one thing I noticed once when he was doing the Power Rangers ones was that there were so many variations on the same theme, because they, unlike the first one where there was 5 seasons, then they changed it to Zeo, then it was in space, and then all these ones right after to the very last one they've done recently, is that there's always been a different variation on the theme, and other bands and other kind of people have medleyed all that into one big song together. But I think, like you say, maybe your audience wouldn't know it so much because it's, a little bit more after. But I think if I was to get a band together, that would be one variation, and it'd be like of my demographic.
You should absolutely get a band together.
You There is
Gen X
we've-
touring together. That would work.
yeah. Exactly, because
Correct.
what you've done there is you're doing what we did, which is create the band that you want to see and that you understand the reference points too. So
But
that's
actually,
a
there's-
smart idea.
There is more to it as well. The 80s has a very specific sound.
Yeah.
And if we go out of that sound, like, for example, we went the other way, we did Starsky and Hutch, which we played, Matt and I played in another band before, and it's been an absolute stormer. But in the context
like
of
highlight
everyone
of the set.
listening to 80s and it being like that, and then suddenly playing a ridiculously 70s funky wah-wah thing, everyone just goes, we didn't come here for this serious rubbish. Why aren't you playing the silly songs that we want you to play? So it's a learning curve, and like sort of Alex said, it's down to the audience really what we play. Because if we try something like that and the audience kind of goes, well, now it's time to go to the bar, we'll go, well, we won't play it again then because we don't want you going to the bar.
Yeah.
Not in our set anyway.
Yeah, in the break.
between our sets,
For God's sake, in the break. But yeah, there's definitely a niche there that we're not, and we will not encroach on. I think probably, what are we? Probably going up to about 1992 or something, aren't we? Really, in our stuff. So there's probably a niche for another band. But we're not here to talk about.
I think you're right about one thing. I think anything after 1992, there was a change. There was definitely
a change stylistically. And I think that's probably the influence of dance music and all of that, and recording techniques changing, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, and grunge, of course. Yeah,
grunge was the number one thing.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
but I also I like your choice of word, Donald. There, we were right about one thing. Correct. This whole interview. One thing. It's up to you to work out which of that one thing was.
Good luck to your editor.
But no, you're right about the change, and I think one thing that absolutely nails that change is the Red Dwarf theme. If you remember the early version and then the new version,
yes,
like one was very 80s sci-fi, and then they changed. And I think one of our quotes, it became this kind of just wall of noise hitting you. Which you said the night, because then you got he likes it to the "Have I Got News for You" theme, which is that again. And he said that's what it became in the 90s.
Yeah, and that's interesting, isn't it? Because Series 1 of Red Dwarf, I'm going to get geeky now. It's appropriate. Series 1 of Red Dwarf didn't have the big theme, did it? It just had that.
Yeah.
Oh, was it really? So 2 didn't have wow. So oh god. I stand corrected. So it was Series 3 that had the, what we all know and love.
Yeah.
And that, I guess that was big responsibility for changing the fortunes of that show then, because it's suddenly, oh my God, this is an exciting sci-fi thing rather than a sitcom in space.
In fairness, they didn't need to look far for it, because it's actually the closing song of the first 2 series is actually what is the opening song of Series 3, although rocked out on an electric guitar. And as you said, Calum, it's that theme song that's come to be remembered by many Red
Yeah.
Dwarf fans
Yeah.
as the real
That-
opening of the show.
And
Yeah,
actually,
we
while
do
we're
all
on
of
the yeah, we do both. Yeah.
We do both. We do the
We've mashed it up,
the
yeah.
organ bit at the beginning as well.
But yeah, you've actually stumbled on a real geeky thing that's happened recently. I think it was Blockbuster. Is it Blockbusters? Because one of us learnt the 90s version, then we realised there was two different versions, and the 80s version is really punchy and snappy, and the 90s version is like shoving a pillow over it, and it's made it really naff, and there's
It's
no
not.
punch.
It's not
There's
nice.
no
It's
snap.
not
Yeah.
good.
And
And
that is a really good point in general about long-running TV shows. They would remix or re-record the theme tune. I mean, Doctor Who's a really famous example that kept on changing, and the original's the best one.
Home
But
and
yeah,
Away
that-
as well.
Home and Away.
started out as a banging
Neighbours.
soul tune, and sort of ended
and then
up
it
now.
became even Neighbours changed its feel, didn't it? You know, and
I've got one as well. Pyro. Pyro had a theme tune for every episode up until 2002. Then they stopped it. You know, if you've seen Pyro, because
It's a sax thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
the saxophone
yeah.
intro,
It's
it was
really
used
good.
used from the very first episode till 2002, and then after that, it never came back. It never came back, except in little bits during the score of different scenes throughout the later episodes. But I'm being a bit geeky because I am a Agatha Christie fan. I often refer to that era of Poirot as known as the Brian Eastman years, because it was Brian Eastman that was the producer of the show. The Brian Eastman years were more focused on that kind of having that theme centric, and then it changed to what we now know as the Netflix kind of change.
Yeah.
Long before Netflix came about, because it was 2003 the first one without a theme tune came to fruition.
wow.
Yeah, that's geeking out. I love
Yeah,
it.
you're geeking out. But that is there is there.
It's a
but it's-
double- And
Yeah,
the
well,
TV.
that was amazing. But it makes a really good point that there was some TV themes just remained completely static, whereas and that's a production decision, isn't it? It's you get the producers going after a couple of seasons. Oh, we want series. Sorry, I should say series, not seasons. They say, oh, we're going to change. It's often with a change of title sequence, isn't it? It's usually, oh, we need to change the title sequence, so we're going to change the music as well. Doctor Who again would probably be an example of that, wouldn't it?
Early for the better.
Yes.
The Red
fair-
Dwarf.
Oh,
thing.
Blind Date. There's loads
Yeah.
of versions of Blind Date. What's that about?
Oh yeah, quite
It's the
different.
walking bass line on the original, and then suddenly it goes funk in the 90s.
It goes
and then it just goes done in the noughties.
Again, we've mashed those two together, haven't we? But we needed the one with the pause in it, and we all remember the one with the pause in it. But
You
there
mean the
is- there
pause
are
for,
ones
ladies
without.
and gentlemen, it's a Blind Data. You mean that bit, right?
That pause, I do. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. That wasn't pre-planned.
No, that
No,
wasn't.
that wasn't.
Yeah,
Matt,
we've been
when you
working on that for weeks.
Matt, when you mentioned that you preferred the original Doctor Who theme song, which original are you referring to? Are you referring to the Muddy Gold version that came out in 2005, or the very, very first one from 1963, the Ron
The
Grainer
very,
original?
very, very,
The
very.
original.
The
Yeah,
Ron,
the
the Ron
original.
Grainer original concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
It's-
What would you
Synthesized.
rank as the worst one? What would you rank as the worst one?
Well,
Just as-
I'm
Oh.
going to caveat that with I'm not a big Doctor Who fan, but I'm aware of.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not going to pretend on a Geek podcast to know a lot about Doctor Who. So I'm going to cease to answer your question.
anyone
because
else?
I will just make anybody else.
I
But
think
I'm
you
actually going to pull you up on the Ron Grainer, because you have to credit Delia Derbyshire, because he just wrote the piano music. And
That's right.
Oh
Like,
God!
love
Thank
that.
God
Thank
for
you,
Ollie.
Thank you, Ollie.
I'm not letting that.
Brilliant, Matt. Yeah. What a-
I feel bad now. I feel bad for
Wasn't it?
Delia. Yeah, because you're right. It was Delia Derbyshire that
Yeah.
composed I
Yeah.
can't
But she
imagine.
did all the tape licks. She did the sounds. It was
She
he
did the
wrote it
sound.
on
That's what it
piano.
was.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it was all in.
sounds.
It was all in the
It's all in the
sounds.
sounds.
Callum, I
Um,
feel bad. I think I don't think you should have me as a host again.
And there is
Not at all.
there is a video of, I think it's a Blue Peter video of one of the main guys from the BBC Radiophonic Workshop redoing the theme for
Oh,
the
that
80s.
was,
You've probably seen
Powell.
that on YouTube. Say again?
What's her name? Powell. Was it?
Yeah,
Peter-
I think Peter Powell's
No, no.
presenting it, and then it's or somebody like that. But yes,
no.
it's
It's
one
definitely
of
a guy
the
called Powell who made remade
the
theme for
radiophonic
the
guy.
80s, yeah.
Yeah, so he's basically, I think it's the first time they've redone the theme to kind of basically sound like that original one, and he's doing it on new synths.
The 80s one wasn't too bad, but I often think that if I had to rank the best 80s Doctor Who theme, there are two that are close. There was two themes used during Colin Baker's tenure, and I often think the second version that was used in his tenure was better than what was there, because it was a little bit more mysterious and dark than a straightforward electronic synth kind of opening. Sylvester McCoy's one as well, though, I thought was pretty good, especially given the fact that the show was nearly on its feet again until the BBC decided to cancel it in '89. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And do you think that, again, coming back to production decisions, that it was kind of like, oh, okay, we need to attract a new audience for this, or we need to freshen it up, so therefore new type.
I have to be honest, I don't think they were caring at that point, because the upper management of the BBC didn't really care for Doctor at that point in the 80s.
The story goes, Michael Grade hated sci-fi. Michael Grade.
And what was Michael Grade's time? Was that 80s, 90s?
Yeah, it was towards the, and they say he deliberately put Doctor Who on in competition with Coronation Street just to try and kill it off.
Yeah.
He sounds fun. So,
and if you want,
is he one of the villains in the Doctor Who kind of story?
He's a villain overall, because he got, was it the Day-to-Day cancelled with Chris Morris?
Oh, well, now I hate him.
And if there's one guy you don't want to piss off, it's Chris Morris, because he will ruin.
No, he won't let go of that.
And I don't know if you ever know it, but when they first broadcast Brass Eye.
Oh no, I remember that he said there was a flash frame of Michael Grade.
Michael Grade is a see you next Tuesday. Yeah. He put in flash frames of that everywhere.
I often think that there was actually two people responsible. There was Michael Grade and another guy called Jonathan Powell. This is probably where the name I got mixed up as. Jonathan Powell, completely different guy to the radiophonic guy. Michael Grade was there to BBC One at that point, so he was looking to cut back programs. And when in February '85, when Colin Baker was a Doctor, he decided, right, I'm pulling the plug out because we need to save costs. I mean, this was Thatcher's Britain; everything was getting cut back at this point, and the problem was, though, he didn't anticipate that Doctor Who's fan base was still very strong, and so there was a huge backlash to the cancellation. And what happened was, he reversed the decision, gave what was known as the Trial of the Time Lord series. Calum, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
To Colin Baker, which was what I refer to as the second half of his tenure, which was, very, very disruptive.
So what year is this?
1986.
1986. So this, because just in my head I was thinking, would this have been about the same time as, because you'd have had Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy around that time, the TV series, and then you'd have had Red Dwarf a little bit later, what, 87, 88. So I'm just wondering if Grade was aware of Red Dwarf and Hitchhiker's Guide, because he'd have hated them as well.
He might have, but the problem was Red Dwarf was on BBC Two, so he had no say over BBC.
So he was the controller of one. Right.
I think. Calum, correct me if I'm wrong. Red Dwarf was on BBC Two from the very beginning, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
okay. So he'd have given that a hall pass because it wasn't his channel.
It wasn't his job,
and it's not prime time.
And the other thing is as well is that eventually when the series finished with Colin Baker, it was actually Michael Grade that turned around and said to John Nathan Turner, who was the producer of Doctor Who at the time, he said to him, right, you can keep the show on one condition, that you fire Colin Baker. Otherwise the show's not going ahead. So he had to phone Colin Baker and tell him, you're fired. And that's how Sylvester McCoy came into fruition.
Well, good for McCoy, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that shows sort of the broken nature of television production, really, that somebody can have that much power over a creative decision,
Yep.
Quite unlike NotABand.
Quite unlike NotABand, where everyone in this band is equal, but some are more equal.
What I did then. Yeah. Actually, so we should try and wind up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll start winding it up there. So
you mentioned Quickfire. We love Quickfire questions.
Well, I was only going to just mention just other theme song, but I think you've answered all the ones that I've wanted
Right.
for now. If you come back again, I'll have a whole list. I'll go through them quickly.
Brilliant.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
we'll come
Yeah.
back. We barely scratched the surface. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We found our spiritual home.
Yes, I think. Can we
We'll get
come and live?
educated
Can
a
we
bit
come and live with you now?
Yeah, there won't be any trouble. Honestly.
We just sit in the corner and play theme tunes.
What do you
Do the
think, Colin?
washing
Shall we
up
let them
every
in?
night.
Yeah, I think we'll let them in.
Yeah.
So, first question will be, if people want to see you, where can they? And I'll do a nice little magic trick as you announce those.
Oh, shall I do my voice then?
Yeah.
Shall we do? I need the
Go
list.
on.
then.
Go on,
I'll leave
you
the
can
list.
do it.
I believe I haven't got the list yet. Here we go. But the 18th, July 18th, Bedford River Festival. July 25th, Truck Festival. August 8th, Hutch Fest. September 4th, Reading Face Bar. October the 1st, Brighton Comedia. That is our first proper theatre comedy angle show. So that is a very special one. There will be pyrotechnics. There will be lasers. November the 14th, Whitney, Part and Parcel. That is, as we mentioned, a pub gig that is free, and we will be doing the sort of in-your-face party popper stuff. Aldershot, Winchester, Guildford, Southampton. I'll start again. Aldershot, Winchester and Guildford will all be the usual 90-minute festival of fun. And then December 18th at Southampton, the 8065 will be with Professor Elemental and most likely Brighton the Concords as well. So that is going to be a real Christmas party. We'll probably have a stand-up comedian opening as well. So if you're in the Southampton area and you want a Christmas party like no other, then get to the 1865 on the 18th of December. So it's quite a nice variety of shows. And then we're starting to book 27, but I can't announce anything yet.
And of course, if people want to reach out to you and follow you, and if they've got any requests of their own, where can they find you guys?
We are on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. The Instagram is instagram.com, NotABand_UK, and it's the same for TikTok. I can't remember what Facebook is, but you know how easy it is to find stuff.
Yeah.
And if you put in Not a Band and you can't find it, put in Not a Band UK, and we're always there. But yeah, our biggest followings on Instagram, we do pretty well on there. In fact, we had a few sort of viral hits about a year ago, which is why we ended up with the Jeff Barrow kind of quote and all of that kind of stuff. So I will say that Instagram did us a lot of favors about a year ago, in that we got an agent out of it and all of that. So yeah,
Nice.
Instagram's the best place just because that's where the most action happens.
Yeah, that's what happened to her. We had a clip go viral on there overnight. It got like 500,000 views.
Yeah, and it's
quite nice.
kind of random. It's you just have to keep putting good stuff out, but you have no control over what is popular.
Some of the silly stuff we've done that hasn't worked at all on Instagram have worked really well on TikTok.
But that's true, actually.
It's so odd. You can post the same thing to two places and one lot go, ugh. The other one
exactly
go,
the
this is the
same
best
with
thing
this
I've
clip.
ever seen. Yeah.
This clip didn't do that well on TikTok, but just went crazy on Instagram for some. Well, it was the guy who did the stunts on Buffy, and he was just slagging off Tom Cruise. That's all it was for 30 seconds. And that just
I
went
can see
mad.
why that would go viral, though. Yeah, I mean that's
It's
brilliant.
For some reason, everyone on Instagram was desperate to defend. No, Tom Cruise does his own stunts. Really, he does.
Just sparked a
bollocks,
debate.
basically.
Just sparked a
bollocks.
debate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think our one was well, I think it was just our first video that was kind of me going, yes, and we play this and we play that, and it's and Airwolf and all of this stuff, and I think it just it neatly encapsulated in 90 seconds what we were doing then, because we had the screens behind us. But it was just a great advert for the band, really, and I think it struck a chord because, like you say, there was no one doing that then, and there's no one really doing it now. So it's like, so that's why it got shared, because it's like, well, this is ridiculous. I think the caption was something about, what was it, Jay? Something about they said a whole set of 80s TV theme tunes was a ridiculous idea. It is. They were right. Yeah, exactly. And they are. It is a ridiculous idea for
many reasons.
middle-aged. Yeah, but mainly for middle-aged men to be going out and doing this and not doing
Yeah.
something sensible. It is ridiculous. And on
It
that note,
is.
bye.
And so, the final question we ask everyone: would you consider coming up to Stornoway there at Hebrides?
We'd never say no.
Give us
we'd
enough
lo-
diesel
I
money.
think
What
it's
are
the other way. We'd love to, but yeah, it's just time and money. Come on.
Time and money.
Show us your money.
What are you offering us?
Or whiskey.
Yeah.
And I'm fine.
No,
Whiskey.
actually, we were talking before about being paid in whiskey. So yes, if we could be
Yes.
paid in whiskey, decent peaty whiskey,
Yes,
um, very peaty, then we're there.
You'll get extra.
we do
You'll
have-
get. Carry on, come.
I was going to say, we do have the festival that Donald's going to be playing, and we've also got a little Comic-Con in October as well. So
Well, that sounds.
maybe in the future, that'd be...
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing we haven't done a lot of is the Comic Cons. We've had a few
I would have
offers.
thought that would be...
We've had a few offers, and it hasn't tallied with diaries or budget
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, that's kind of it's kind of ridiculous. We haven't done a Comic Con yet, really,
Yeah.
because it's kind of built for the exact audience that we're now.
And I
talking to.
think I should mention as well, because Matt, you were here, but the others weren't. The Stramash Festival is a charity-based festival here in Stornoway, and the money and the proceeds go to a place called Macaulay Farm, which is a project or an initiative, you could say, to get people with special needs, just helping out, working around the farm, understanding about, like agricultural things and all that. And it's been pretty successful to the point where the two co-creators of the project were awarded OBEs. I think it was OBEs
brilliant.
last
Wow.
year.
Oh, okay.
So the Stramash Festival helps fund the project, the Macaulay Farm Initiative, by doing a show on Friday and Saturdays in different months, either June, July, or August every year. And they bring up acts from different parts of the country. Like we've got a band from Wales who do to shows to help people who are struggling, who have to go to food banks and all that. They're coming up this year. A rock band from Cardiff. We've got a band called Bad Actors from Nairn who have been regulars at Stramash, and there's a lot of other local acts like myself who'll be performing there. So
Oh,
you never
amazing.
know.
Maybe for
we'll
next
be
year
good.
then. Do you
Yeah,
do it
yeah,
yearly?
yeah.
We do it.
Yeah.
We do it yearly. I'm not one of the organisers myself, but I know the organisers very, very well, so I could
Well,
definitely pass your name around.
That sounds like a 2027 date.
Yes. We'll get the
We
whiskey
would love
ready.
to
Don't worry.
start taking some
Yeah,
we will.
Yeah.
And so with that, we'll draw that. Thanks, guys. It's been a blast, and I'm sure
Oh,
we'll
thank
catch up
you.
with you. We'll love to catch up with you again in the future, and if the Stornoway date ever happens, we'll definitely arrange something then. And thanks,
Absolutely.
Stoll, your first ever time on Ocast, and hopefully
Yes.
first of many
Yes,
more.
we'll see you again, I'm sure, if you'll have us.
Yeah.
And so just to let everyone know, like, subscribe, follow these great guys as well. It's fantastic what they're doing, and they said we need silliness and we need smiles in these times, and they're doing a great job of it. And so with that, good night, everyone, and take care wherever you are. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Later.